Hey you guys, what up, what up? I wanted to answer a question. Let me get this out of the way. You can see the glare. There you go. Is the new supply better than you? No, the new supply is not better than you. The new supply is different, but not better. I'm not saying that all new supplies are like bad in any way, because let's face it, at one point in time, we were all the new supply. It's just different. Sometimes the ones they go to actually know that they're the new supply. That's a whole different ballgame. Let me tell you a story real quick. So if you've watched my videos, you know that my dad is a really big narcissist, okay? And animals, I learned recently in a conversation with him, animals aren't even safe from that shit. My dad likes cats, right? And so he got this cat, and he would brag all the time about how he got this cat from the pet store and how great this cat is and what the cat did today and what the cat likes to do and all of that stuff. Get this though. Recently, about 3 weeks ago, he calls me and he's like, I've been feeding this stray cat. Now hear me real good, y'all. I've been feeding this stray cat outside of my home for a while now. And I decided to let him live with me, right? Unbeknownst to this cat that he already has. And he starts talking about how poorly talking about the cat that already lived there, right? That cat's just so bougie. It won't eat whatever I give it. It's like it requires a certain kind of food and all this stuff. But the new cat, the street cat, follows me around the house. It gives me affection all the time. The street cat will eat whatever I give it. And and he said, and I quote, I'm starting to think that this street cat's really starting to win me over the other cat. Like, the street cat's winning. Winning what? Like, how are cats in a competition? So, of course, the house cat that was already purchased from the pet store doesn't like this street cat because it came from fucking nowhere. It came from outside somewhere all raggedy as fuck, right? And now all of a sudden it lives there and it's getting all of my dad's attention. And so it's beating it up all the time. It's always fighting this street cat, right? And he's like, yeah, man, now how does this tie into you and the new supply? Well, most of the time, the new supply is for the streets. The new supply is just like that narcissist, for the fucking streets. And that's why they get along. That's why it's easy for that new supply that's for the streets to get along with that narc. You know why? Because just like the street cat, that new supply will take whatever scraps that the narcissist gives them. Whatever little scraps of time and affection it gives it, whatever it doesn't need, it doesn't, just like that cat doesn't require fancy food. It's just glad that it's getting fed in general, much like the street supply, right? And the narcissist gravitates more towards it because why? Well, it doesn't require anything, does it? It doesn't require much. Now, where you were once revered as like this awesome person that the narc would talk to their friends and family about or whatever, right? Now, all of a sudden, the things that you like or the things that you require are now looked at as bougie, or that, your standards are way too high for that narcissist, right? And the streets are starting to look real good because the streets will take whatever you give it, right? So now he's pitting these two animals because animals aren't safe from the narcissist. Appliances aren't safe from the narcissist. All that shit is the same to them. Humans, appliances, animals. Whatever works better for them for less is what they so desire. So now he's like dogging out the cat that you went and got on purpose from the pet store right? You paid money for this nicer cat. I mean, I like animals, so I wouldn't treat them different. But you paid money for this one, right? And you fed it nicely, right? Until the street cat came along and showed you not only could you get double the affection, but you could get it for less. And now he's starting to look at this other cat from the pet store like trash. Like, I'm kind of starting to think I don't really dig this one from the pet store anymore. Right? And now he's starting to purposefully give the street cat what? More attention, more affection, because it's accepting less, leaving the other cat to feel, because it is, neglected. It's neglected, and it's angry because it doesn't understand why you're doing this to me and where this other cat came from. Right? And it's wrong as shit. And then you wonder, well, because people always say, well, I wonder why they downgraded and went to this person when I do so much and I'm so wonderful. And you are wonderful. And that's the problem. Because what you require is reciprocity, right? You require reciprocity. You require to be treated well in order for that narcissist to continuously have your affection, time, and love, and sometimes money or whatever it is, right? Whereas that hoe from the street, much like the street cat, all they need you to do is show up. They don't give a fuck if you pet them or not. You know what I mean? And when you do pet them, it's like the greatest thing in the world, because they're just like, I'm just so glad because it's you petting me today. You finally gave me some attention. That's wonderful. I'm going to follow you around the house now and worship you. That's what the street cat does. And because the other cat just requires you to show some reciprocity and to show that you care and to give a fuck about what it likes to do and what it likes to eat and what kind of toys it likes and things like that. And it doesn't give you as much affection. It actually is independent and kind of comes around like a normal cat would do. Cats aren't always lap cats. They're known to show you affection like at random, right? Then now all of a sudden they have swapped places on that totem pole, right? Where now the cat from the pet store is lower and at the bottom, and the street cat has been bumped up to the top, right? And it would not be a surprise to me if one day my narcissistic dad calls me and goes, you know, I just had to get rid of that cat from the pet store. It was just, oh my God, out of control and so bougie. The same cat that used to be so great when you used to talk about it. I just wanted to throw that out there because it just reminded me of the new supply. When you see a new supply that is a downgrade, you didn't lose value, baby. You didn't lose value. It was just easier to take care of something and to interact with something that didn't know its worth. So therefore it became more valuable because you didn't have to do shit to maintain it. Okay? So I hope that I got all the points across that I really was thinking about in my head before I pressed play. But yeah, don't ever feel bad about not being like the street cat. Because really, in theory, they're both getting played. My dad's sitting on a couch somewhere watching them fight and enjoying the show. Enjoying the fact that these two lives, right? These two entities are fighting for me. Moi, my affection. Oh, this is going to be a good one. Let's go get some popcorn. And that's how they watch you. That's how the narc watches you. That's how the narc hopes that you interact when they pull on them raggedy ass strays off the street. Alright? So I love y'all and I hope you're having a really good day. And don't worry about it. Street cat's not getting better. They're not really getting anything. Okay? Love you.